For this lab, we are going to determine the sodium content using 3 food samples. For the first part of the experiment, we will standardize the silver nitrate. I have 3 weighed samples of potassium chloride. Starting from the first sample, the mass is 0.1043 grams. The second sample is 0.1309 grams. And the third sample is 0.1108 grams. I'm going to pour these samples into the volumetric flasks and add 25 milliliters of water. After adding and mixing the samples, we then add a few drops of 10% potassium chromate into each sample. We mix the samples again. This is what the samples look like before titration. Let's start titrating the first sample of potassium chloride. We fill the beaker with an unknown concentration of silver nitrate. Now you can see the precipitation reaction occurring in the solution. We will titrate more till the solution turns into a rose pink color. We have reached the endpoint. This is the result of the first trial. This is the result of the second trial. This is the result of the third trial. For the second part of the experiment, we are going to start using the first fruit sample, which is the classic potato chips from Stater Brothers. We weighed about 5 grams of potato chips. We're going to put them into each beaker. We will then crush the potato chips using glass stir rod. Now, we are going to pour 95 milliliters of hot water into each beaker. After we added the hot water, we stirred each sample. Then, we're going to filter each sample. Now we start the second sample. We're going to use sour cream and weigh about 10 grams for each trial. Then we're going to put them into beakers, heat it up, and stir the solutions until the sour cream is completely dissolved. This is the first trial of the sour cream, and the total volume is 100 milliliters. We are stirring with the stir bar and added a little heat. We will do the same for the rest of the trials. After dissolving the sour cream, we're going to filter each sample. These are the filtered samples of the potato chips and sour cream. I'm going to pipette 50 milliliters of each solution from the beaker and into the flask. As you can see, I already pipetted the filtered samples of the potato chips. I will show you how to pipette for the sour cream. For the third sample, we are going to pipette 5 milliliters of Gatorade into the beakers. We're going to add 95 milliliters of hot water into each beaker and mix each solution. Then, we will transfer 50 milliliters of each solution to each flask. Now, we will add few drops of 10% potassium chromate into each flask and mix it well. Let's start titrating the first trial of the potato chips. The mass of the first sample is 5.096 grams. This is the results of the first trial of the potato chips. This is the results of the second trial of the potato chips. This is the results of the third trial of the potato chips. Now we move on to the second sample, which is the sour cream. This is the results of the first trial of the sour cream. This is the results of the second trial of the sour cream. This is the results of the third trial of the sour cream. Lastly, we titrate the last sample, which is the sports drink. This is the results of the first trial of the sports drink. This is the results of the second trial of the sports drink. This is the results of the third trial of the sports drink. This concludes the sodium determination lab.